Hey, what is going on everyone? I hope you guys are all having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the easiest Apex Legends servers in the world. In a previous video, I went over the most casual and relaxed servers that you could be playing on, and I definitely recommend go watching that video. But in today's video, I'm going to be mentioning servers from all around the world and really explaining in depth why they are that way. Now, the first server I'm going to be going over is located in North America, and this server is Virginia 2. Now, if you asked me a year or two ago if Virginia 2 was a casual server, I probably would have told you that it wasn't, because I had played a match on this server before and I didn't find the match very casual. But this season I went back and played a couple matches on the Virginia servers, especially Virginia 2, and I noticed the overall experience on the server was very casual compared to seasons and years past. Now, I don't think that this is because it has a larger population on it. Usually when servers have a larger population on them, usually the matchmaking experience overall is going to be a lot better, because if you are on a server with a lower population, you're going to have Preds going up against bronze players, if that makes sense, because the game won't be able to find enough equally matched opponents to put you up against. Now, personally, I'm under the impression that Virginia 2 is an easier server because it's not a GCE server. Sometimes these servers work differently, and they usually only bring in a certain amount of people before they start diverting players off to GCE servers. So it could be very possible that a lot of average skilled players are being sent to Virginia 2, and they're making up most of the player base, and that is why it's so casual. So I would definitely recommend giving this server a shot. Now, the next server I'm going to be talking about is exactly on the other side of the world from Virginia 2. This server is Bahrain. Now, the best way to describe this server is to compare it to another server just like it, and this server is Sao Paulo. If you guys are a longtime viewer of this channel, you would know that I always talk about Sao Paulo, as well as a ton of other people have mentioned this server because it is very notorious for being an easy server. Now, this server is the opposite of a populated server. Basically, what ends up happening when you queue into a match on this server, it's going to be putting you up against level 1s. It's going to put you against average skilled players, and it's not a surprise to see a couple masters or predators in these lobbies, because a lot of rank grinders also know about this server. Now, it always depends at what time you're playing on these servers, because sometimes the server is just going to have more players on it at certain times than others. So usually you're going to have a very casual match if you decide to play on these servers. But the whole reason it's grouping all these players together who are on completely different skill levels. For instance, it doesn't have any other level 1 players to put the other level 1s with, and that goes for every player at their skill level. The game just can't find anyone to put those players up against, so it ends up putting them all together. I will say a couple downsides of this server depending on where you are in the world. For me at least, it is a little laggy and the queue times aren't always great, but honestly it's no different than Sao Paulo. If you can bear a little lag and have the patience to wait a minute or two, then I would definitely recommend trying out this server. Now, moving on to the last server I'm going to be going over, I saved the most debatable one for the end because this server is Sydney 1. Now, I think the funniest thing about this server is this server is most often called one of the hardest servers to play on, but I definitely think a lot of people get confused about the server right next to Sydney, and that's the Singapore server, which in my opinion is a lot harder than the Sydney servers. Now, I'm sure playing on the Sydney server can be tough, especially at certain times, but when I got on this server, it definitely felt a lot more casual than I've heard, and it was probably because of the fact I was playing on it after hours. And you could really argue that opinion about most servers. They're always going to be a lot more easier and casual once all the grinders and the pros hop off, and usually that means playing on a server in the morning hours, at least if you want to have the most casual experience on that server. Now, I would definitely recommend giving Sydney a shot. I always heard that this was a try-hard server 24/7, and I think that's still kind of true, but if you get on it at a different time, it does become a lot more casual. And with all that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Feel free to try any server that I went over in this video, and I would definitely recommend just trying servers in general and trying to find the one that works for you the best. I know it's always super hard at the end of the day to try a new server because you do want the best connection possible, but if there is a server that is very close to the other server you already play on, I would definitely recommend giving that server a shot. In general, I find that trying new servers is just fun, and who knows, you might find one that you really enjoy. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you all around later. Bye, guys.